Imagine you're offered two completely different paths today.
Okay, I'm with you.
Right. So path A is just a completely chaotic project. Like the variables are totally unknown, the risk of failure is super high, and it's going to demand a level of output that makes you actively, uncomfortable.
Sounds awful.
Exactly. But then there's path B. Path B is this guaranteed low-stress scenario. You know exactly what you'll be doing every single day for the next 10 years. The environment is just perfectly controlled.
And, I mean, society, your parents, basic common sense, they all tell you to take path B, right?
100%. But the crazy thing is, the science suggests that path B, that perfectly safe, comfortable choice, might actually be the most dangerous thing you could possibly do to your brain in your future.
It completely flips how we're taught to think about risk. I mean, we spend our entire lives trying to engineer risk out of our everyday existence.
Yeah, we buy insurance, we look for job security, we just want the sure thing.
Right. But when you look at how human toughness is actually built, you realize that getting rid of all the friction doesn't protect your baseline. It literally destroys it.
Okay, let's unpack this, because that's exactly our mission for this deep dive today. We're taking a really hard look at the safe choices.
And to be clear, we aren't talking about reckless behavior or, obvious bad decisions.
No, not at all. We are examining the good decisions, the ones that everyone told you to make, the ones that feel super logical in the moment. We're breaking down exactly how those choices can just quietly destroy your ability to handle life over time.
Yeah, if you want real change in your life, you have to understand this. We're going to diagnose exactly how your brain tricks you into confusing being stuck with being safe.
And more importantly, we're going to look at the actual simple steps you can take to reverse this and start building real everyday toughness.
The most crucial answers, the ones that will actually change your trajectory, are going to drop toward the end of this conversation, so stick around for that.
So as we get into this, I want you listening to this right now, I want you to mentally bookmark a recent safe decision you made.
Oh, that's a really good exercise.
Right, like maybe you stayed quiet in a meeting to avoid a disagreement, or maybe you passed up an opportunity because you didn't feel perfectly ready.
Just hold that specific choice in your mind as we go.
Because to really get how this trap works, we need to look at a classic example from the source material. We're going to call him Sam.
Ah, Sam, the perfect case study.
Yeah. So Sam is 24 years old, and he lands this really solid, steady job. It's not a crazy startup. There's no massive risk. It's just fundamentally stable.
And Sam just completely embraces that stability, right? I mean, for 12 straight years, his work environment doesn't change at all.
12 years doing the exact same tasks.
Exactly. He's at the same desk, using the same tools, dealing with the exact same people. Day in and day out, his stress levels are zero.
There's no drama, no conflict.
None. There is absolutely no need for him to adapt to anything new. And from Sam's perspective, he basically hacked life. He feels like he made the smartest, safest choice possible.
Right up until the day the whole thing falls apart.
Yeah, the company restructures, the department gets cut, and Sam is let go.
But the layoff itself isn't really the tragedy here, is it? Market shifts happen all the time.
No, losing the job is just a standard bump in the road. The real devastation is what happens the next morning.
When he sits down at his laptop.
Right. He sits down to update his resume, and he hits this massive psychological wall. Because he looks at the last 12 years and realizes he has absolutely zero new skills to add.
Nothing. The market outside his little bubble didn't stop moving.
Exactly. New software came out, the way people communicate totally shifted, expectations changed, and he never touched any of it.
But it's even deeper than just missing out on the newest tech, right?
Oh yeah, it's a complete breakdown of his internal machinery. When Sam tries to go out and, negotiate a new salary or even just sit through a regular job interview, he totally panics.
Because he hasn't had to have a hard conversation in over a decade.
Right. He hasn't had to defend his ideas or handle a rejection or figure out a complex social dynamic in 12 years. His brain literally pruned away the wiring needed for those interactions because he wasn't using them.
He didn't just lose his income. He lost 12 years of chances to grow.
He lost 12 years of compound adaptability.
But wait, I can hear people listening to this and thinking, isn't Sam living the dream? I mean, the guy had 12 years of zero stress. Most people would kill for that.
I know, it sounds great on paper.
But it's kind of like, okay, think of it like buying this beautiful vintage sports car.
Yeah.
And you park it in a climate-controlled garage for 12 years.
Oh, I love this analogy.
Right. You never turn the key, you just look at it. And it looks perfectly safe, pristine. But mechanically, that safety is literally destroying the car.
Because the fluids aren't moving?
Exactly. The rubber seals are drying up and cracking because oil isn't circulating. The gas in the tank turns into this weird sludge that clogs the engine. The battery goes completely dead.
So the garage preserved the paint job, but it ruined the machine.
Exactly. The second you try to take that pristine car out onto the highway, the engine just completely seizes up.
The preservation was the destruction. And that is the exact paradox we are talking about today. Sam looks totally fine on paper, just like the car.
But you put him on the highway of real life, and he freezes.
Because he doesn't have the internal lubrication, that mental toughness that only comes from regular, moderate friction.
So ask yourself right now, do you know a Sam? Or honestly, are you a Sam in some area of your life right now?
It's a tough question to answer, honestly.
It is. But it naturally begs the question, if this extreme stability is so damaging in the long run, why do our brains trick us into thinking stagnation is such a good thing?
To understand that, we have to look at the basic biology of how we avoid things. Your brain has this super powerful reward system, and its main job is just keeping you alive today, not making you a better person tomorrow.
Just basic street-level survival.
Exactly. So when you face something hard, let's say, a really awkward conversation you need to have with a friend, your brain's fear center sees that social friction as a literal physical threat.
Like a tiger jumping out of the bushes.
Yes. It reacts the exact same way. It pumps you full of stress hormones, your heart rate goes up, you feel that awful tight pressure in your chest.
And in that moment, the logical part of your brain knows you should just have the conversation.
It knows it's the right move for the long term, but if you back down, if you avoid the conflict and just send a text or ignore it entirely, the threat disappears.
And your brain rewards you for that.
Massive reward. You get this huge hit of relief chemicals. And because that relief feels so good, your brain basically takes a note and says, hey, avoiding hard things feels great. We survived. Let's do that again.
What's fascinating here is how we completely confuse relief with actual progress. Because, I mean, they feel pretty similar in the moment, right?
They feel identical initially, but relief is just a biological trick. We mistake the absence of immediate pain for actual forward movement.
So it's almost like eating junk food.
Oh, totally.
Like if you're super hungry and you eat a giant bag of potato chips, your blood sugar spikes, your stomach feels full, and your brain is happy.
You cured the immediate discomfort.
Right. It cures the hunger in the moment, but you're literally starving your body of actual nutrients. If you only eat junk food, you'll feel full every day, but your body will slowly break down.
And that's exactly what happens to your character when you constantly seek comfort. Relief feels like progress, but it's really just the sensation of escaping growth.
Escaping growth. That is such a brutal way to put it, but it's so true. So how do we, like in the actual moment, tell the difference between genuine peace of mind and just the cheap thrill of avoidance?
Well, you have to look at when the good feeling hits. Genuine peace of mind usually comes after the hard thing.
After you've done the work.
Right. You have the messy conversation, you push through the awkwardness, you resolve the issue, the lightness you feel the next morning, that's genuine peace.
But relief is immediate.
Relief is front-loaded. It's that immediate heavy sigh you let out the exact second you decide to cancel the meeting or delete the tough email.
Think about a hard email you didn't send yesterday, or a phone call you sent to voicemail.
We all do it.
Remember that little sigh of relief when you closed your laptop or put your phone face down? That wasn't peace. That was your brain tricking you. You just ate the junk food.
And while you're enjoying that quick sugar high of relief, the atrophy starts. The source text uses this really powerful muscle analogy here.
Oh yeah, the cast analogy.
Right. If you break your arm and put it in a cast, you're immobilizing it completely. You're taking away all the friction and weight.
And it doesn't hurt at all.
Yeah.
Sitting on the couch with a cast on feels perfectly fine.
But underneath the cast, your arm isn't staying the same. Your body realizes it doesn't need to waste energy maintaining that muscle because it's not doing any work.
So it literally starts breaking the muscle down.
Exactly. When that cast comes off 6 weeks later, your arm is shriveled and weak. Sitting there doing nothing didn't cause any pain, but it absolutely destroyed your strength.
And our human skills work the exact same way. The ability to handle rejection, the ability to negotiate, to adapt when things go wrong, those aren't permanent traits.
No, they are highly perishable skills. They don't just wait patiently in a storage closet for you to need them again. They quietly disappear.
So why are these specific soft skills like handling conflict or adapting the first ones to vanish when we get too comfortable?
Because they entirely depend on friction to survive. Just like a physical muscle needs the resistance of a heavy weight to stay strong, your emotional muscles need the resistance of awkwardness, failure, and social tension to stay dense.
And here's where it gets really interesting, because look at modern life.
It's totally engineered to remove that friction.
Exactly. Everything's designed to make things frictionless. We use apps to order food so we don't have to talk to a cashier. We curate our social media feeds so we never see an opinion we disagree with.
We text instead of calling because we can edit our texts and avoid sounding nervous.
We are basically putting our entire emotional life into a full-body cast.
And our adaptation muscles are wasting away faster than ever before.
It's like assuming you could still speak high school Spanish 15 years later just because you haven't forgotten the word hola.
Oh, that's spot on.
You go to a restaurant in Mexico, open your mouth to order, and absolutely nothing comes out.
Yeah.
The pathways are completely gone because you never used them.
So what stands out to you as you listen to this? Can you think of a skill you used to have? Maybe you used to be super great at striking up conversations with strangers at parties.
Or maybe you used to be really good at just rolling with the punches when travel plans got messed up.
Yeah, but now if a flight gets delayed, you have a complete meltdown. You just don't have that flexibility anymore because you stopped exercising it.
And the craziest part is, avoiding these difficulties doesn't actually make them go away.
Not at all. It just postpones them. The source material frames this as a loan. And loans always come with interest.
The compound interest of avoidance. This is such a wild concept.
It really is. When you dodge a difficult choice, it's not like hitting pause on a video game. The unhad conversation doesn't just sit there frozen, it gets bigger.
So dodging a difficult choice is more like hitting fast forward on a ticking time bomb.
Exactly. Let's break down how this interest actually works in real life. Say you have a coworker who keeps talking over you in meetings.
Oh, the worst.
Right. And you hate conflict, so you avoid bringing it up. You think, I'm keeping the peace. But what actually happens?
They start resenting them.
Yes. The interest you pay on that avoided conversation is resentment, misunderstanding, and a complete loss of trust.
Every time they even clear their throat, you get annoyed.
You start being passive-aggressive, maybe withholding information from them. The whole vibe of the office gets toxic.
And eventually it's going to blow up. You're going to snap.
And when you do snap, you are paying the cost of that loan at the exact time when your communication skills are at their absolute weakest because they've been atrophying the whole time you were avoiding the issue.
You're going into battle with a rusted sword.
Exactly.
But wait, let me push back on this a little bit. Is there ever a time when postponing something is actually strategic? Or is delaying always this toxic loan?
That's a great distinction. Delaying is strategic if it's intentional. Like if you get a furious email and you're seeing red, closing your laptop for 24 hours to cool down is smart.
Because you're putting a specific time limit on it.
Right, you intend to handle it. The toxic loan only happens when you delay it indefinitely, when you just say, I'll ignore this and hope it goes away.
Hope is not a strategy. So if this loan is constantly accumulating interest in the background of our lives, how do we know if we are currently deeply in debt?
Well, the text gives us a way to diagnose this. There are 3 brutal, specific signs that you are optimizing your life for comfort.
Let's get into these. And if you're listening, run these 3 signs against your own life right now. Just be totally honest with yourself.
Sign number 1. You're staying in a job, a relationship, or a daily routine that just feels deeply wrong or boring, and you defend it by saying, well, it's stable.
Oh, wow. Using stability as a defense mechanism.
It's the ultimate shield. Because nobody is going to criticize you for being stable. It sounds so responsible.
But secretly, you're miserable.
Exactly. You're using a responsible-sounding word to hide the fact that you're too scared to make a change. Stability becomes a cover for stagnation.
That is the ghost of Sam from our earlier example right there. Okay, what's the second sign?
Sign number 2 is what they call the tomorrow conversation.
Okay, what is that?
It's when you know exactly who you need to talk to, you know exactly what needs to be said, but every single day you find an excuse to delay it until tomorrow.
I want everyone listening to literally picture the face of the person you are avoiding right now. You know exactly who it is.
And think about the mental energy you waste constantly simulating that conversation in your head, only to back out at the last second.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
You're paying the emotional tax of the argument every single day without ever getting the resolution.
Which brings us to the third sign. And this one is a bit of a gut punch.
Lay it on us.
The third sign is the inability to remember the last time you did something genuinely new or genuinely hard.
Now, I have to play devil's advocate here,
Yeah.
because life is already exhausting. Bills, traffic, chores, just making it through the week.
We're all tired.
Right. So why on earth should we go looking for extra hard things when we're just trying to survive? Isn't everyday life hard enough?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the source makes a really critical distinction here. There is a massive difference between being exhausted by busy work and actually doing something hard.
Okay, explain that.
Sitting in gridlock traffic for 2 hours makes you incredibly tired, right? But it doesn't force you to grow. It doesn't build any new skills. It just wears you down.
So it's just friction without the growth.
Exactly. Falling into these signs doesn't mean you're a weak person. It just means your brain is doing its job of seeking comfort. But surviving a week of annoying busy work does not build the muscle you need for when a real crisis hits.
It just grinds down the tread on your tires.
Spot on. You're exhausted, but you aren't any stronger.
Okay, so if we recognize ourselves in these signs, if we realize we're stuck in the comfort trap, how do we actually fix it? Because telling someone to just step outside their comfort zone is super cheesy and unhelpful.
Yeah, the text totally rejects those empty motivational phrases. We need simple, street-level solutions without the complications.
So what's the actual practical move?
Street-level solution number 1, the weekly deliberate difficulty.
Deliberate difficulty. Okay, I like how that sounds.
The advice is super actionable. Pick one small deliberate difficulty every single week and do it on purpose.
So we're replacing our comfort-seeking habit with a scheduled challenge.
Exactly. And the key word is small. It has to be small enough that it doesn't completely wreck your week, but big enough that you actually feel the friction.
So it's like getting a vaccine.
Oh, that's a brilliant way to look at it.
Right, because when you get a vaccine, they aren't giving you a massive lethal dose of a virus. You'd get incredibly sick.
Right, they give you a tiny controlled dose.
You inject a tiny dead version of the virus, a small controlled difficulty, and your immune system fights it off and learns how to beat it. So when the real massive virus comes along, your body already knows exactly what to do.
That is the exact psychology of this protocol. You are voluntarily introducing a small dose of chaos into your week so that when involuntary chaos hits you in real life, it doesn't destroy you.
Okay, let's give some real-world examples. What does a deliberate difficulty look like for a normal person?
It could be finally sending that awkward email you've put off for a month. Or maybe it's setting a firm deadline for Friday to make a decision you've been agonizing over.
Or maybe, if you always look at your phone in the elevator to avoid small talk, your deliberate difficulty is keeping your phone in your pocket and actually saying good morning to your neighbor.
Yes, it doesn't have to be jumping out of an airplane. Consistency is way more important than size.
So, listener, before this deep dive ends, I want you to pick your deliberate difficulty for this current week. Pick one small thing you're going to do on purpose that makes you slightly uncomfortable.
Just one thing. That's how you start rebuilding the muscle.
Okay, what is the second street-level solution?
Solution number 2 is a paradigm-shifting question. It changes the fundamental way you evaluate your choices.
I feel like we all ask ourselves the same question when we make a choice, which is usually, does this feel comfortable?
Exactly. And we have to completely stop asking that.
So what do we replace it with?
You start asking this instead. Does this make me stronger a year from now or weaker?
Oh, wow. Does this make me stronger a year from now or weaker? That really cuts through the noise.
It's a profound vocabulary switch because it forces your brain to stop looking for immediate relief and start looking at long-term survival.
It totally changes the timeline.
Think about applying this to everyday micro-decisions. You get home from work, you're tired. Option A is scrolling on your phone for 3 hours on the couch. Option B is going for a 20-minute walk.
If you ask what feels comfortable, the couch wins every time.
But if you ask the new question,
does scrolling on the couch for 3 hours make me stronger a year from now or weaker? I mean, the honest answer is weaker. It degrades my attention span, it makes me lethargic, it's making me weaker.
And the walk clearly makes you stronger, it builds stamina, it clears your mind.
So what does this all mean when applied to the big stuff? Because answering weaker about your current job doesn't mean you have to storm into your boss's office and quit tomorrow.
No, absolutely not. But what it does do is kill the illusion that you are safe. It forces honesty.
And strips away the camouflage.
Exactly. Staying in a dead-end job might feel comfortable today, but if asking that question reveals that it's slowly eroding your market value and confidence, you can no longer pretend it's a good choice.
You realize you're just slowly bleeding out.
And once you admit that to yourself, you can actually start making a strategic plan to move on.
So I want to challenge everyone listening with this exact exercise. Think of one big decision you're sitting on right now. Apply the question, does this choice make you stronger a year from now or weaker? What is the honest answer?
It's tough to face, but it's the only way to actually grow.
So as we wrap this up, if we synthesize everything we've talked about today, what is the ultimate truth here?
The ultimate truth of this entire text is that real security was never about sitting still.
We've been sold a lie, that safety means finding a quiet corner and never moving.
But the person who ends up truly strong isn't the one who managed to avoid every risk. The strong person is the one who chose small, uncomfortable things every single week until difficulty just stopped being scary and became totally normal.
Comfort isn't the reward for a life well lived. It's the bill you pay for a life lived too carefully.
That is exactly it.
So I'll reiterate the final prompt from the source text.
Yeah.
What is the one thing you have been avoiding because it just feels safer not to touch it?
Because that thing, whatever just popped into your head, is exactly where you need to start.
We really want to hear from you on this.
Yeah, please share your thoughts, jump in the comments. If you disagree with this or think we missed a piece of the puzzle, let us know. We grow by thinking through this stuff together.
And if this deep dive brought you any value, please share it with someone you actually care about. Send it to the person you know who is stuck in their own climate-controlled garage right now.
I want to leave you with a brand new thought to mull over as you go about your day.
Let's hear it.
We've established that comfort is basically a loan with interest, right?
Right.
So what if the absolute most dangerous, reckless thing you can do for your future self is to try and have a completely stress-free day today?
Wow. Let that sink in.
Yeah.
Until next time.